I was reading this thing, and if I read it, I'm sure you saw it. And I really didn't understand it that much. Your boy Vince I sounded like he didn't like that storyline with Ric Flair.
Yes, he didn't like it, bro. Vince. I don't think Vince has put over anything. Like anything, like literally nothing.
That thing was excellent.
I thought it was good too.
What was? I don't understand exactly.
I thought he was dissecting
Joe,
it.
Well,
and stuff,
Vince doesn't like Flair.
Read the quote. Just read the quote, please. Okay. I kind of read it fast. I didn't get the full feeling, but what I did get out of it, he didn't like it. But I want Joe to read it so we can just make a couple little comments.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've really come to the conclusion with this Flair, Jarrett blood angle. I'd say 90% of wrestlers have Peter Pan syndrome. What I mean by that is you understand they don't grow up, and it blows my mind. I'm 61, and I'm sitting back, and I'm watching all this, and I'm saying, are you people ever going to grow up? Between Flair and Jarrett, you've got almost 100 years of being in the business. At what point do we grow up?
What do you mean, do we grow up? I don't understand.
Vince thinks it's just ridiculous doing the blood and stuff. And I talked to Vince about this too when we did the show.
Do you want me to, here's another one. Okay, so he says, let's be honest, he probably does need the money. There's probably a whole different set of circumstances, but do you think Jeff Jarrett really needs the money? I don't. I got to tell you, it's hard for me to watch. It really is hard for me to watch.
Well, I'll tell you right now that the discussion I had with Vince.
Yeah.
I said, look, this is Flair's last match. Okay, so it's a celebration of Ric Flair's career. Right, so he's going to want to work with guys that know how to work, for one thing. Number two, the acting in the video was actually very good, I thought, because Jeff is a professional and Jay Lethal.
Are you going to read the quote, Joe?
And they're all good. Let me finish my comment. Okay, and then and then I told him, I go, bro, blood was like a staple of Flair's career. Like this is his last match. They're doing an homage to his career, so he's got so that's what the guy does. He's going to bleed. That's because that's like the memory of the Ric Flair's career for 40
Right, it's like
years.
It's like watching Abdullah the Butcher's last match and he doesn't bleed.
Right, exactly. So
right,
it's like,
half of his.
I think he's being too critical of it, but but big deal, he didn't like it. So it's like
but,
whatever.
Right, well, that's his opinion.
Ahead.
So
ahead,
so finish and then I'll.
So this is actually from the two-man power trip with John Paz too. Vince was on there. He says, "This is why nobody takes the wrestling business seriously. This is exactly why." You got this Flair retirement angle. Yep, okay. So the fact that Flair is retiring and a 73-year-old man getting in the ring and it's a swan song and it's an event and it's a celebration. No, that's not enough, bro. We got to shoot an angle. So we're going to shoot an angle. Jay Lethal trained him and even more Ric Flair socks. And Ric Flair was his idol and him and Flair goofing around doing training and everything. There's footage all over the internet. But then Lethal asked Flair if there's a place on the card. And after training him and going through all that, Ric Flair tells Jay Lethal, you're an opening act, kid. Okay, so now Ric Flair's the heel because this guy just trained him and this guy just wanted to be on the card. So now Ric Flair's the arrogant heel, 73-year-old guy who's retiring is now a heel. So now here comes Jeff Jarrett all dressed in white. Wife all dressed in white. Goes to help Ric Flair. Ric Flair tells him, F you and your dad. So now if I wasn't sure before now, I really know Ric Flair's the heel.
What are you complaining about? That's a good storyline.
What
are you complaining about?
They just had content produced to go on YouTube to promote the match.
That was great.
I thought it made people more interested in it than if they just went Ric Flair's last match.
Exactly. And why are you fixated on his age?
And it was a good
Here's
point
the other thing. And when you say people, this is why people doesn't take the wrestling business. Nobody takes the wrestling business seriously, bro. It's entertainment. Right. Do you have the ability to hook me on a good storyline or not? That's really what wrestling is now. What happened to Vince? What's going on here?
He just doesn't like anything. He doesn't know.
That must be hard to do, bro. If you can't enjoy what Ric Flair did, the match was not that good. But if you can't enjoy the build-up to it,
I thought this
may not be the business for you anymore, huh?
That was a good 30-minute video.
Yeah, everything they did was great. Everything, every person on there, except I think Andrade felt forced in, even the match, he didn't even feel like he was part of the match. But I think Jay, Karen, Jeff, Rick, bro, kudos, dude.
It was good acting.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you watch the acting on other shows.
Right.
How atrocious
that was
it is.
Great.
This was actually pretty good. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I read that and it kind of threw me. I was like, what?
I think Vince was kind of repulsed.
I'm not wrong, yeah.
Well, Vince is not into the blood. So I think he was just really repulsed at the Flair being that old and bleeding and stuff. It just, and it just turns him off.
So when he sees blood in UFC, is he turned off and boxing?
I don't think he watches.
He don't watch it. He don't watch it.
He just watches baseball, right?
Yeah, he's a baseball fan.
So what if a guy gets hit? Forget it.
I'll ask him.
I'll
tell him that we did not like. I'll tell him. I'll talk when I talk to him next week on the show. I'll say we thought that Konnan thought your criticism of the Flair angle was a little bit harsh,
over the top.
Yeah, he can come on here and we can discuss it. But like I said, I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying I do not see how he was not entertained by this as a former booker and a fan. Very good stuff.
Did you guys see? This is kind of related to you. Did you guys see that the company StarCast registered a trademark for Southwest Championship Wrestling?
I could give.
So they're gonna run shows. It seems like
Who cares?
That's it's interesting on a wrestling
we need
podcast.
more wrestling.
Well,
like more wrestling fan podcasts.
That Flair.
It's like we need to dilute the product with even more stuff. This is what we need.
But I can see why they're doing it, because that Flair's Last Match show was the second highest indie gate of all time in the country. So they're probably thinking.
Well, it's because they ran it at a building that was very smart. With you heard Conrad talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, hey, of course it's a big indie show. It wasn't. I don't even really consider it an indie show. Because like when you think of indie shows, you think of the size of the building.
Yeah, it was like a super show.
And an indie show is in a smaller building stuff, But this was a show that was in like some of where you do like WCW would do a TV taping like for Thunder or something.
Yeah.
That's what I looked at it as. So.
Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100. My co-host Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!